Oh, man. Oh, good. Reveal stream's happening Monday. Good. Probably means they won't release anything until Monday. Oh, man. I'm tired. Let me just check the website, see if they released any. Many cards! Blizzard! I wanted 1 day off, Blizzard. 1! Is that too much to ask? You're gonna reveal 70 cards tomorrow. I have other things to do. Not a lot, but occasionally I have things I want to do. Aside from do Hearthstone. You're killing me, Smalls. You could have gone just 1 day and saved those cards for the real stream. No, you had to dump a bunch of cards. And not only that, you had to dump a bunch of crazy cards. Blowing my mind, alright? That's okay. I'm awake now. I'm ready to go. You know I love this shit, guys. I'm excited. It's just a happy coincidence that I had to take a dump in the middle of the day, woke up, saw this card, and instead of getting an actual 8 hours of sleep like a normal person would, I am here doing these card reviews for you. So, barring a nap later, this is what I'm doing with my day. And you know what? I'm happy about that. Let's take a look. Shadow Essence. 6 mana, priest spell, summon a 5/5 copy of a random minion in your deck. Okay, so high rolling with this card. 5/5 copy of the Obsidian statue seems really great. A 5/5 Cairn seems pretty good to me. A 5/5 Loot Hoarder gets you a card draw. A 5/5 draw a card, Death Rattle. Seems really good on like Death Rattle minions. Even like cheap ones, it seems pretty good. Maybe you hit a Mistress of Mixtures, you're still getting a 5/5 that heals for 4. Yeah, I mean, obviously you want a high roll on this card. You want a high roll with a card that has some sort of continuous persistent effect or has a death rattle effect. Things like that. Malagos. Right? Maybe you try to high roll a Malagos and then Mind Blast. You know, that's something. That's 20 damage, unblockable. Wow, that's actually pretty good. Is there a meme deck that has no minions in it except for Malagos and 2 of these cards? I mean, yeah, I guess. Just kind of wait till you grab the Mind Blasts, or just grab enough like priest damage. What if you draw Malagos? So, I don't know. So you see what I mean? Like, I think this card is good. I think it's neat. And we've had the Barnes effect, but that only got you a 1/1. This gets you a 5/5, so that's not an insignificant body. You know, there are a lot of cards out there that would be good if there were 5/5s. It's one of those cards where, like, I haven't done the research yet, because I'm literally seeing this card for the first time today. And I think it could be good. I think 6 mana is a bit much. I would like to see this at 5 mana, but maybe at 5 mana this card is just busted. So, hard to say. I think this card is not as good as Eternal Servitude, which allows you to discover a minion that you that has died this game and then resurrect him. But I think this card works very well in conjunction with Eternal Servitude, because maybe you play this on 6 mana, you get something freaking huge, and then when it dies, as a 5/5, you resurrect it again. So, similar as well to, like, say, the Barnes effect, right? Where you play him, and I don't know, you get Yashiraj, and then your copy Yashiraj pulls your Yashiraj. Well, same thing can happen here. Maybe you play this, you get a 5/5 Yashiraj, and that pulls out the 10/10 Yashiraj. I don't know. I just say, this effect has already seen play, and so a lot of the applications of Barnes would apply to this card, except now you're getting a 5/5 body. There's probably a lot of cards that wouldn't be good, necessarily be that good with Barnes, but be really good as a 5/5 just because it has survivability. I don't know. I have to do a little more research, think about this card, but I think it's playable. I think it could find a slot. I don't know if the effect is strong enough to find a slot. I think this is one of those cards where you're going to have to kind of stack your deck. This isn't like the core card of the deck, but you're going to want to put a few cards in your deck, a few good minions in your deck that if they became 5/5s on turn 6 would be really good. So I think this is playable. I think it will see play, and probably almost certainly a Death Rattle Priest. It just automatically gives you a Death Rattle and keeps going. So I'm going to give this a 6. I don't think this card is spectacular, but I think it'll definitely see play, and it'll probably see play in a pretty good deck. Breath of Sindragosa. 1 mana, deal 2 damage to a random enemy minion and freeze it. Okay. This is the Flame Cannon effect for 2 mana with freeze. It's pretty good. It's only 1 mana, so it doesn't go face, so it's not Ice Lance. There's a reason they got rid of Ice Lance. But this with Shatter, ooh, something. This isn't bad with spell damage. Turn 3, Blood Mage Thalnos, plus this. 3 damage to a random enemy minion, which kills a good portion of the 3-drops and a large portion of the 2-drops out there. Combos. But even if it doesn't kill it, it still freezes it. Even if you don't have Blood Mage Thalnos, this plus a ping is 3 damage. Even if you don't kill it, you still freeze it. That's pretty good! I don't know. Arcane Blast saw a significant amount of play, but that was targeted, and that was a cheap spell in a Tempo Mage deck. So is this maybe a Tempo Mage kind of thing? Maybe. I could see it fit into a deck like that. But I think for the most part, it's just a really cheap frozen stall that deals 2 damage. It's a blizzard. It's a mini blizzard. It's kind of neat. Is it powerful enough to see play? There's probably decks out there that want to sort of delay, freeze, and kind of keep things off the board. Or not off the board, but just freeze stuff. This card is really good with the Demented Frostcaller. Right? On 5 mana, you play that for 4, you play this, and you get to freeze 2 things. I don't know. It's so flexible. There's so much possibility with this card, and it's really, really nice for controlling the early game. I could see this just being one of those cards that kind of gets slotted in, and there you go. And it's a cheap spell. It has Archmage Encinitas synergy. It has Arcane Giant synergy. I don't know. It's better than Freezing Potion, and arguably worse than Freezing Potion. And Freezing Potion doesn't see play, but I can see mage archetypes now that are just freezing, stalling. It's a great anti-aggro card. This kills patches in 1 shot. This kills, it doesn't kill Bloodsail Raiders, but then you can just ping it off later, basically preventing, up to 7 damage, face damage. Just a nice little additional damage, additional removal. I don't know. I think it's good. I think it'll see play. I'm going to give it a 6. It'll slot into some decks. Not meta defining, At least it shouldn't be. I don't know. I mean, one cost spells in the early game that do something like this. Like Flame Cannon was a good card, but it dealt 4 damage, so it pretty much killed anything on 1, 2, or 3. This doesn't kill everything on 1, 2, and 3, but it freezes it. And freezing has always, to me, felt like, okay, I killed something for 1 turn, which is basically kind of all you need. You know, considering the fact that you can also ping the thing, you know, twice because it's frozen. You can ping it on 2 and then ping it on 3 and die. And how many 1-drops have 4 health? I don't know. This card has such really neat applications to it. So I think it will probably see play in some decks. Most likely either in tempo decks or some sort of board freezy, not frost mage, I guess, not freeze mage. Rotface, 8 mana, 4/6, warrior legendary. Whenever this minion survives damage, summon a random legendary minion. Okay, so on the surface this effect seems powerful. Getting random legendaries out of this guy, even if you only get 1, is pretty good. It's nice to have a minion that spawns more minions. Here's my problem. Much like the Valkyr Soulcaster, I believe it's its name, the 3 mana 1/4 that gives you 2/2 ghouls every time it takes damage, this thing has to survive damage. So it's not a minion where you can just play it, trade it, boom, give me the random legendary. This is not Sneed's Old Shredder. This guy, however, can be better if you have some sort of whirlwind effect set up, or you're playing this on a turn where you can damage your minion. So if you already have an animated Berserker out, which would be surprising to have on turn 8 for whatever reason, you can just play this card and immediately get a random legendary. That's pretty good. If you have Bloodraiser, the backup to Bloodraiser, meaning you still have 1 charge left, you play this and then swing. There you go. Get your random legendary. If you play this and it lives, and then you play Ravaging Ghoul, then there you go. You know, like any sort of deal 1 damage, whirlwind effect kind of thing is really good with this card. You know, obviously a warrior doesn't have a ping, but just being able to deal damage like that is pretty good, you know. So here's my problem with this card. Random legendaries are kind of bad now. Did you see the princes that they put in? Did you see all the cheap legendaries that we have now? Did you see a lot of the legendaries that are kind of shitty and kind of unplayable now? But he's got 6 health, which isn't terrible on turn 8. It's just not a lot. He's only got 4 attack, so he doesn't trade very well. Very good with hand buffs, but he doesn't have taunt, so you can't hit him with stolen goods. You can only hit him with the Grimy Gadgeteer. I mean, the likelihood of you having this card in your hand and hitting the Grimy Gadgeteer with it, thereby making it a 6/8 when it lands, you know, I think this is actually really understated because they were afraid of the effect being too good. I don't think the effect is actually that good. This is not a mage card where you can just ping, 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 and keep getting minions and keeping it alive. You know? I don't know. I feel like the setup for this minion, it's not that hard, but I feel like it's just hard enough, and the effect is not as good as it seems enough to where I think this card is actually not that good. So anyway, I don't think this card is that good. I'm going to give it a 4 out of 10. Bone Drake. 6 mana, 6/5, neutral, rare, death rattle, add a random dragon to your hand. Wow. That's really good. That's good value. Add a random dragon to your hand. Yeah, I mean, it's good value. This is actually a pretty good death rattle. Play dead synergy. Princess Huhuran synergy. Just get dragons. Maybe there's a Dragon Hunter. I could see a mid-range Dragon Hunter playing this. It's certainly good in the Dragon Priest decks, right? It's good when Azoth. Comes back when Azoth. That's pretty good. Yeah. I don't know. I like it. It's a good card. It's neutral. It's cheap to craft. You'll probably just get it in packs. Slots into a dragon deck. Yeah. This with the Cobalt Scalebane turns it into a 9/5. Pretty good. You could get a Scalebane off of this thing. That's pretty good. Even if you just get a Fairy Dragon, it's not terrible. It's a card that cycles itself, albeit slowly. Yeah. I don't know. Pretty good. 6 mana, it's not so bad that you're playing a card that's just a pile of stats that gets you a card later. It's the turn 8, turn 9, turn 10, even arguably a turn 7 plays where it's like, I kind of need to start doing shit that actually really impacts the board and has immediate impact on the board, because my opponent has started to snowball enough at this point to where I'm starting to get beat. 6 mana, you can still afford to play a pile of stats, a value game in that sense. And in Dragon decks, oftentimes you can also afford to do that. I do wish that the stats were flipped. I think a 5/6 for 6 mana would be better than a 6/5. Now, granted, 6/5 dies a little easier, so you get the dragon a little easier. But I think just having a big body that gives you another body later on is sort of the purpose of this card, and hence having a little more health would be better. But I think overall this is a good card. I think it will see some play. I think there are decks that can take advantage of this. You know, it's a dragon with a death rattle. So immediately, dragon decks and death rattle decks will play this. And who uses dragons and death rattles to strong effect? Priest. There you go. So this will be, might as well have been a priest card, honestly. This will be a good priest card. Like, it'll work. And it'll be good, and it'll see play. So, yeah, 7 out of 10. Webweave. 5 mana, summon 2 1/2 poisonous spiders. So we already have 1/2 poisonous things called stubborn gastropods that have taunt, which are arguably better than these spiders, and those cost 2 mana, and 2 of those would cost 4 mana, and this costs us 5 mana. Do you see the problem here? Now, according to some of the designers, they tried this card at 4 mana, which is the obvious choice for the cost of this card, and they found it was OP. And I was like, really? Okay. Okay, there's something to that. Here's why. On turn 4, getting 2 1/2 spiders is pretty strong because it threatens your opponent's 5-drop, and it threatens your opponent's 6-drop. It's very, very difficult to place something into a board that has spiders until you remove the spiders. Now, granted, they only have 2 health, which makes them not that hard to remove. You know, a pretty simple AoE will take care of it. But then, your opponent's wasted AoE on them. Now I'm starting to see the value in the card. It's not necessarily that you're just getting spiders and the stats are poor. Getting 2/4 for 5 mana is obviously bad. That being said, Druid has difficulty removing large single target minions. 1/2 spiders do that for them, assuming they live. Yes, they die to weapons. Yes, they die to relatively cheap AoE. I get it. I hear the arguments. Your opponent has to have those cards, and they have to be willing to use those cards on this card. Therein lies the strength. Now, you're still getting 2 bodies, so this isn't even that bad in a token Druid. Imagine we throw a Mark of the Lotus on these guys, and we've got 2 2/3 spiders, right? Would you play 2 Emperor Cobras for 6 mana? Maybe. Not bad. Like I said, it represents 2 significant trades. You know, Envenom Weapon is a dagger and a 3-cost card, which allows you to swing face into 2 things and kill 2 things. This is equivalent to the same thing for an equivalent amount of mana. So I can see how this could be powerful and how this could have a really good effect. Now, does anybody play Envenom Weapon? No. And Does that mean anybody's going to play Webweave? No. I don't think this card is as bad as people think it is, but I don't think it's actually good. 4 out of 10. Saronite Chain Gang, 4 mana, 2/3 taunt, neutral rare, battle cry, summon a copy of this minion. Aha! It's the doppelgangster effect. So, any effect that actually goes onto this minion ahead of time is going to also be on its copy. So, just vanilla, 4 mana, 2/3 taunt with another 4 mana, 2/3 taunt. Would you play that card? Well, that card is already in play. It's called Feral Spirits. And that card has seen a significant amount of play, at least in the past. Maybe not quite so much anymore in current Shaman builds, but it's there. Now, the reason Feral Spirits was somewhat bad is because of the overload. And yes, you got to bring it out on turn 3, which is arguably a better time to bring it out than turn 4. But then you were overloaded. This card doesn't overload you at all. And this card's neutral. If Feral Spirits was a card that could be played in other classes, you bet a lot of other classes would be playing it. Imagine this card in, say, oh, I don't know, a Token Druid, right? Play this, get 2/2/3s, and then wham, hit a Mark of the Lotus on there, and now you've effectively gotten 2 Sen'jin Shieldmasters for 4 mana, or 5 mana. Would I play that? Yeah, I would. That's pretty good, right? Now, hand buffs. Right? Hit these with 1 or 2 Paladin buffs, and this thing becomes a monster. And it only costs 4 mana. 2 2/3s for 4 mana is already pretty good. So, is this card spectacular? No, but it's a nice 4 mana defensive tool. It'll stomp on Pirate Warrior. Another good card to just stomp on Pirate Warrior. It's another anti-aggro card that just puts defense and puts stats and bodies on the board, and it's really good for buffs. Hand buffs. But even if you don't get a buff on this card, you can always buff him later, right? Why not? It's fine. So I think it's a pretty good card. I think it's a nice defensive tool in general. Like as just a card without any buffs or anything like that, I think it's a good, solid card. I think it's a good defensive card. I think it will see play. And it's not terrible in a taunt-style Druid. It's not bad in a Taunt Warrior. Now, granted, you only get 1 activation, not 2, for Taunt Warrior. But, hey, you know what? It's still 2 taunts for 4 mana. That's not bad. I think arguably the Bloodhoof Brave is probably better than this card. You get a little more attack value for less mana, but it's split over 2 bodies, so now it takes 2 attacks. Things like that. There's applications for this card. So I do like it. I think it's neat. I think it will see play. I'm going to give it a 6. Happy Ghoul. 3 mana, 3/3, neutral rare. Costs 0 if your hero was healed this turn. Whoa. A 0 mana, 3/3. Well, we all know how strong the Silverware Golem was, which is a 0 mana 3/3 effectively. It's not that hard to heal your hero if you're playing some sort of healing class. Even there's a lot of little tiny neutral healing. Voodoo Doctors, for instance. Earthring Farseer, for instance. Yeah. Not bad. Really great in Priest, right? Just heal face. And you have to heal your hero, so it's not just a minion. So it's not quite as good as that. But how about this? Lifesteal mechanics. This works great in any sort of deck that has any sort of lifesteal mechanic. Alright? Paladin. It's awesome in Paladin. There's a lot of lifesteal shit there. So, remember a little card called Chillblade Champion, which, wow, I can't believe I'm saying this after the first reveal, but has gotten better and better and better and better as I've seen more cards that interact with things like that. So let's imagine you have Chillblade Champion on 4, you drop it, you swing face, you heal your own face, then you play this as well? Ooh! All of a sudden, you've got a 3-2 with charge, with lifesteal, and an additional 3-3 on turn 4. That is some sick value. It's just another excellent additional body. Yes, it takes a card slot, but it's just one of those plays where you're just going to all of a sudden, bop, bop, tempo, tempo. Right? Even in the late game, let's say you play Lay on Hands, right? Or Forbidden Healing. Well, you can still play this card. So instead of healing for 20 and doing nothing, you can heal for 20 and get a 3-3. You know, granted, at that stage in the game, a 3-3 isn't that impactful, but it's still a minion your opponent has to deal with. It's better than nothing. I don't know. It's pretty good. It's a neat mechanic. It's just tempo gained by healing, which was typically the problem with healing, is that it often did nothing else except heal. So yeah, I think this card is pretty good. And you know, I think it will see play in a significant amount of decks that just run healing, and even decks that don't necessarily run that much healing, but have just a few healing minions that want to sort of get out on the board. You know? So, good card. 7 out of 10. Despicable Dreadlord. 5 mana, 4/5 demon. At the end of your turn, deal 1 damage to all enemy minions. Neat. I like it. Finally a warlock thing that doesn't hit your own board. Who knew they even had those? Slightly understated. Not too bad. You're losing 1 attack and arguably 1 health. You know, although I would argue that most 5 mana minions are not 5/6s, they're 5/5s. The effect is Arcane Explosion, so that's worth 2 mana. So this is, in theory, a 3 mana 4/5. And then you get it every turn, so if it stays alive, you can do it again. Like, it's... I don't know if this card is, like, straight broken enough, though. You know what I mean? Like, it's a good card, it's fairly statted, it has a pretty good effect. I just... This is the, I don't know, the accountant at work that you don't really talk to, but he's there every day, and he turns in his reports on time. You know, does he do more work than he's supposed to? No, he's not pulling weekenders. He's not trying to impress the bosses or anything. But you know what? If you don't have him in your deck, you miss him, because then you realize how much good solid work he's doing. And that's what this card does. It just does good, solid work. Is it going to see play? I'm going to give it a straight up 5. I think it has widespread application in the sense that there's a lot of decks that this could slot into, but this is always going to be probably the first card cut. Forge of Souls, 2 mana, warrior spell, draw 2 weapons from your deck. This card scares me a little bit. One of the things that Pirate Warrior had some problems with is they didn't always draw their Arcanite Reaper on turn 5. This allows you to do that. Like, consistently. Now, granted, you are going to have to give up 2 mana worth of tempo to draw the Arcanite Reaper, but a guaranteed Arcanite Reaper, that's pretty good. And, you know, they already have good turn 1, turn 2, turn 3 plays, so maybe on turn 4, they play this in a 2-drop, and you're getting the Arcanite Reaper and you're going to town. That's really good. Control decks can play this, get their Gore Howls, smack in, start smacking minions. That's pretty good. If you don't have Fiery War Axe on turn 2, but you have this, you play this, you get your Fiery War Axe on turn 3, so you start swinging into minions. And guess what? Arguably, a turn 3 Fiery War Axe is still good. How many classes are playing 3 mana 3/2s and are just, hey, I need a 3 mana 3/2 weapon? Like, specific card draw mechanics are actually really strong. And I feel like this card could be really strong, even though it's relatively unassuming. Yes, I get it. It's just card draw, but you're drawing 2 cards for 2 mana, and you know what those cards are. Basically. This guarantees you get your Blood Razor on 4. This card is insane. It's, like, shockingly good to me. You can play this, draw the weapons, and still play the weapons. And weapons have charge. And charge is great. They can't nerf weapon charge. You know, there's so many applications I can see with this card. There's so many situations where it's like, just give me that goddamn weapon. I'll pay 2 extra mana to guarantee to draw it from my deck. And I get another weapon. So it's not like I'm just, oh, I only got the 1 weapon. 2 mana, draw 1 weapon. Nah, not that good. 2 mana, draw 2 weapons, so I still can utilize my first weapon on the turn that I play this, and then on future turns I get my other weapon. Fucking A, dude. 8 out of 10. Solid card. We'll see a ton of play in a ton of decks. Maybe even a 9, honestly. I'm going to give it an 8.5. Druid of the Swarm, 2 mana, 1/2. Choose one. Transform into a 1/2 poisonous or a 1/5 with taunt. Question. Does this turn into a beast that has those things? Because then there's Mark of Yashiraj synergy, which would be awesome. And it does say transform, so does the 1/5 taunt come back with Hadronox? That's worth thinking about. If it does have beast synergy, that's great. If this has Fandral Staghelm synergy and becomes a 2/7 with taunt and poisonous, that's really good. So these are questions I don't know the answer to, because I just haven't seen the card played and I don't know the interactions to it. Just saw the card for the first time. On paper, pretty good. A 2 mana 1/5 with taunt is a lot of booty. The 1/5 taunt scarab thing is becoming a thing with Druid now, and this is also part of that archetype. It's a relatively solid defensive 2-drop, but hey, you know what? Let's not sell the spider short either, because one of the really great effects of poisonous is if your opponent can't remove it, they can't play good minions into it. So now they're forced to play their turn awkwardly, and it's awkward no matter what. They have to awkwardly remove this thing when they wouldn't want to waste the removal on it. Like, a mage may have to Frostbolt this. And it's like, I didn't really want to Frostbolt it, but I think I kind of have to now. And it gives you a chance to remove a large minion or prevent a large minion from being played, which I believe is the real power of a 1/2 spider or a Stubborn Gastropod. Now, people don't know you have Stubborn Gastropod in your deck. When they see this and this comes into play, they know, they're like, oh fuck, I have to kill that thing. Now, if they have other minions, they'll just trade in other minions, but you're automatically getting a 1-for-1 no matter what with this card, with a poisonous spider. Either they waste a card from their deck killing this card, or they waste a minion on board killing this card. So that's pretty good. For 2 mana, you're guaranteed to take down a card from your opponent. Good enough. This card is a bit underwhelming at first glance, but when you think about it situationally, I think it's pretty good, and I think it actually will see some play. So I'm going to give it a 6. Blackguard, 6 mana, 3/9, epic paladin card. Whenever your hero is healed, deal that much damage to a random enemy minion. Wow. Lifesteal got way good now. Fucking A. Lay on Hands got way good now. Even Healing Touch got way good now. Forbidden Healing, oh my god. Way good now. Imagine this on turn 10. You play this for 6, then you Forbidden Healing your own face. You heal for 8, and then you deal 8 to a random minion. Now, if they only have one big minion, let's say, I don't know, an Arcane Giant, you can wipe out an Arcane Giant while healing your own face for 8 and developing a 3/9 body. I could do this again on the next turn. 3/9? That's hard to get rid of. Now, obviously, it trades poorly, so you may not even kill a minion if they trade minions into this, but it's still effectively healing your face for 9. Like, this has soft taunt. They have to kill this. They can't just let this sit around. You know, it could easily soak up a strong removal. It can't die. It doesn't die to Fireball, right? So they have to utilize a removal on it. Now, I get it. Priests can Shadow Word Pain this, but they've probably used Shadow Word Pain already on some of your other stuff. But like I said, a card like this is just really strong, and all of your healing effects become really good now. You know, even something as simple as a True Silver Champion. Let's imagine he's got a 6 health minion on board, and you have a True Silver Champion. So you leap, you heal yourself for 2, this deals 2 damage to it, and then bam, True Silver Champion cleans it up. That's really good. I'm flabbergasted by this card. Even an Earthen Ring Farseer. Heal your face for 3, deal 3 random damage, get a 3/3 body. You already got a 3/9 body. Fucking A. Can you afford to play something on 6 mana that deals nothing? Yeah, you can. Like I said, 6 mana is your threshold to where you can play a pile of stats and not get super punished for it. That's the last mana slot where you can do it. And so this is it. If they don't trade pretty much everything into this minion, potentially getting you at least a 1-for-1, if not a 2-for-1, 3-for-1, just in and of itself, without even utilizing its effect, this card is pretty strong and ridiculous. But to then get to utilize its effect, because they just can't deal 9 damage to it, and you're healing face all day, that's really good. There's only one drawback to this card. If you're already at 30, this card is poop because you actually don't get healed. So you need to have taken some damage, and honestly, sometimes as a paladin, you just haven't taken damage. So if that's the case, play other things. Just don't play Blackguard. You don't need to drop a 6 mana 3/9 if you haven't taken any face damage yet, because then this card's effect is significantly worse, and I don't know if it's worth it to just play a 6 mana 3/9. But very good card. I think it'll see a lot of play. Blackguard, great card. 8 out of 10. And we've got the Druid Deathknight. Oh, he's so sick. He's so sick. He's so death. Malfurion the Pestilent. 7 mana. Choose one. Summon 2 poisonous spiders or 2 scarabs with taunt. So, 2 things that can kill your opponent's minions. Or 2 things that protect your face. So this effectively could be 7 mana heal for 15. And then your hero power becomes Plague Lord. Choose one, +3 attack, or gain 3 armor. Now, if you have Fandral on board, this thing is sicky sickness. Getting 3 attack and 3 armor every turn is effectively about 3 to 4 mana. So, yeah, that's pretty good. And because you get to choose, yeah, I'd say 3 attack is worth about 2 mana, and I'd say 3 armor is worth about 2 mana. So this is slightly better than the warrior effect. So you could turn your druid into a warrior and gain a crap ton of armor and maybe play to fatigue for this, you know. But just grinding it out with this hero power is pretty nice, you know. I heal, I smack, I heal, I smack, I smack, I heal, I smack. You know, you see what I mean? Like, the value starts building over time. It's like always having a 3 attack weapon or always gaining 3 armor for 2 mana every turn. Like, that is really good. And if you're playing Taunt Druid and you're taunting up a bunch, this could be a great addition to that. So, underwhelming. Certainly not the best Death Knight. Definitely not the strongest. But pretty good. You know, this is not like Thrall, where like you have to have a board and then you need to evolve stuff, right? It's not like Jaina where you have to have elementals in your deck and you have to build your deck to try to get Jaina, and Jaina's your win condition. This is just plop it in, you know? Good card. 7 out of 10. Coincidentally cost 7 mana. Like, just good. Just throw it into your decks. Like, it can't be bad. Uther of the Ebon Blade. 9 mana, hero card, Battlecry, equipped a 5/3 lifesteal weapon. Wow. So a life-stealing Ashbringer. That's pretty good. And then your hero power becomes the 4 Horsemen. Summon a 2/2 Horseman. If you have all 4, destroy the enemy hero. Yeah. No, you read that correctly. So, every time you use your hero power, it's kind of like a shaman deck. Right? Like you're getting a new horseman every time. So if you ever have 4 horsemen on the board, you will destroy the enemy hero. They literally just die. And I've seen the video for this. It's insane. So let's examine part 1. Let's not even worry about part 2 yet. Just part 1. 9 mana to gain 5 armor and a weapon, a 5/3 weapon that gives you lifesteal as well. So effectively, you're healing yourself for 15, and you're getting 5 armor, which is an effectively 20 damage worth of healing for 9 mana. So this is giving you half of Tyrion, but it's also giving you lifesteal. If you remember the Blackguard that we just talked about, lifesteal becomes very strong. So I swing for 5 to the face, I heal myself for 5 to the face, and then that thing deals 5 damage to a minion and takes it out. So if you got some setup involved, that card becomes really good with Uther the Ebon Blade. I would say a 5/3 lifesteal weapon and 5 armor gain. So gaining 5 armor is worth about 1 mana. An Arcanite Reaper is 5 mana. So getting an extra durability and lifesteal is arguably worth about 1 mana more. So that's about 6 mana. So if all you got was just this card, that'd be worth approximately 7 mana. Like you would just pay 7 mana to get the first part of this card. So what does the extra 2 mana get us? The 4 Horsemen. Our hero power becomes summon 2/2 tokens. So I'm getting 2/2 tokens all the time. Right? Effectively doubling the power of my hero power. Or at least doubling the stats of my hero power. But then, if I ever get 4 horsemen onto the board at once, I auto win the game. They did not have to do this. They could have just made this summon a 2/2 horseman, and if there's other horsemen on the board, give your horseman +1/+1, and that would have been great. That would have been OP. People would have sung the praises of that card already. This has an auto-win mechanic in it. It's the first of its kind. Auto-win mechanic. All you have to do is have your dudes not die, and you auto-win the game. I can't believe I'm going to say this. Auction Master Beardo combo. What? Let me explain. Auction Master Beardo for 3. Hero power for 5. Play a 1 mana spell. Hero power again. That's 2. So, if you can get 2 horsemen to stick, you can play an Auction Master Beardo combo and go. My only concern is, and I cannot verify this from the video, are all the horsemen the same, or are you getting a different one each time, even though they're all 2/2 horsemen? So if it's any 4 horsemen being on the board, you win. That's super duper powerful. If it's I need to have these 4 specific horsemen and my hero power is cycling through each one of them, that is way less powerful. So it's hard to say. But just getting a 2 mana summon a 2/2 hero power is pretty darn good, and I will take it. Like if that was the hero power, I'd be like, good enough, sign me up. I'll take lifesteal and 2/2 dudes all day long. But you're just going to give me an auto win condition too? Alrighty. Take my money, Blizzard, already. You have it, you know. This is the equivalent of like a car salesman coming up to you and he's like, hey, look, so this is a premium car, top of the line. It's got all the best stuff in it. And it's going to cost $75,000. And you're like, oh, $75,000. Oh, geez. That seems like a lot of money. He's like, oh, well, I can throw in these rocket launchers too. Do you want those? Yeah, I want rocket launchers. Sure. Oh, by the way, it's also a bond car. So, you know, it's got rocket boosters on it, too. And it's also got machine guns in the front. Do you want machine guns? I'll give you machine guns. Oh, I didn't even need machine guns, but sure, I'll take machine guns. Oh, we'll also give you, you know, 1,000cc engine. And we'll give you 1,500 horsepower. Oh, okay. I mean, I don't need to go that fast, but it'd be nice to climb mountains with this car. Sure. Oh, guess what? We'll also knock 15,000 off the price, so it's only 60,000 for James Bond's car. Like, I don't need all this stuff. Like, I don't need the Exodia Paladin power. It's fine. I didn't need it. All the shit would have been good enough. Just give me the 2/2s and the lifesteal weapon. That's worth 9 to me. I accept. But it's like you're upping your offer when I was going to take the other offer. Like, thanks. Like, much obliged. 10 out of 10. I mean, obvious 10 out of 10. How is this bad? It can't be bad. This is insane. I thought the power level of some of the other cards was insane. This card is insane. And I love Paladin, so I'm extra excited about this card. Fucking A. What a card. Not only is this a 10 out of 10, this is the best card in the set. Hands down, no question. Better than any card we've seen up until this point. Oh my god, just ridiculous. Holy shit. I thought Anduin Soul Reaper was good. This destroys him. The card ain't shit. Anduin's a fuckboy compared to this card. Oh my god. Uther of the Ebon Blade, best card in the set. Guaranteed. There's no way they're printing anything better than this. That's my review. Doggone it, Blizzard. I wanted to sleep. You didn't let me sleep, but it's okay. I still love the cards. I'm very excited for this set. Ah, man. Uther of the Ebon Blade in my packs. Please, it's in the packs. I don't want to craft it. I just want to be shocked by it when I get it. Ah, it'd be so good. So, yeah, like I said in the other videos, late Monday night after the reveal stream, like I said, I'm teaching that day, teaching dance that day, so I won't be able to do the video, but I will do a full review of the cards later on the night. It will be released early Tuesday morning, approximately around 8 a.m.-ish. I don't know. So if you're looking forward to that, there you go. We're going to do a full set review sometime, either probably on Wednesday. We'll do a full set review. And then Thursday, the cards come out. And unfortunately, I will be out of town again. So I'm not going to be able to play all day on Thursday, which sucks because I really want to. But Monday night, we will be doing a all-night stream. As long as I am awake and functional, I will be playing Hearthstone all goddamn night on Monday. So please join us for that. I don't have a set time because I don't know when I'm coming back. But other than that, thank you so much, guys. Really appreciate you being here, sticking around through these videos. I've gained a ton of new subscribers and a ton of new viewers on Twitch. And I thank you so much. I love you. I really appreciate it. Don't forget, Thursdays, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Hearthstone stream every week with sporadic Hearthstone streams throughout the week. That will be announced on my Twitch page, www.twitch.tv/BachataRockstar. Please like this video. Please subscribe. It really helps the channel. I'm trying to grow this, and I want to make this something that I can just do because I love it so much. And maybe at one point, I actually get paid for it. That would be really cool. So, guys, love you to death. Keep learning. Keep rocking. Rockstar, see you later. Thank you so much for watching, guys. If you want to see the newest videos, you can click here. If you want to see a recommended playlist, you can click here. And if you'd like to subscribe, you can click right here. Thank you so much, guys. Keep learning. Keep rocking. The Rockstar will see you later.